know all those very expensive neurolinguistic programming certificates, and I'm not really a big fan of NLP. I'm not going to teach you how to do your job because I'm sure you know your job better than me. But the thing that I'm going to focus on is a basic set of mistakes almost every participant of video conferences, almost every organizer of video conference sometimes do. And I will do my best to answer questions. I will do my best to show and present you the ideas how to make your visual picture, your behavior, and all that your conference mates can accept from you better, more controlled, and works in better way. As we discussed, please put your questions into chat. I'm not sure I have enough time to answer all of them. If you think your question is extremely important, please put like attention marks or something like that. So let me see your question later. And yeah, so we have basic topics. We will start with body language and scaling. So how to build the frame you are working with. We'll continue with your appearance and appearance mistakes. By the way, right now in my appearance, I made 3 very important, very horrible, terrible mistakes that I'm going to correct in a few minutes. And you can guess right now, you're absolutely welcome to guess right now into the chat what exactly in my appearance are those like horrible mistakes I need to correct, and everybody of you need to correct before you start your video conference. After that, after appearance, we will go into the topic of managing the mood and your voice. After that, a little bit about your behavior and the way how to engage your audience, how to make your audience continue keeping the attention on you and on your topic. And finally, some technical issues. The most interesting question, I suppose, biggest one, because more and more different ideas come to our life, new applications, and so on and so forth. Are you ready to start? Please put plus into the chat if you are ready to start. Great, great. I see pluses. Perfect. Continue, please. Thank you very much. So the scale, the picture, the frame, how to build the frame of your video conference. Basic idea, guys. Make the most important parts of your body visible as much as possible. Make your hand gesture, your facial mobility, your mimics visible and understandable for your audience. Remember, there is very complicated point that video conferences are just the way of communicating, but a big part of communication channel, mostly non-verbal communication, some kind of smiling your counterpartner, hearing some voices, some noises and so on, are cut. So you just have mostly visual and verbal way, visual and verbal channel of communicating. And main idea for you while providing your video conference is to put maximum attention into control the visual and audio channels of your communication as much as possible, make it best. That is why please make sure your audience can perceive your hand gesture. Make sure you control your hand gesture and make your hand gesture even bigger than in interpersonal communication. I'm absolutely sure you have already done some kind of specific training sessions about body language. You have learned something about, at least something about it. So yeah, you know how to control your body language, your body, your eye contact. But if not, of course, you're welcome to communicate with the organizers of this conference and we can continue because I can help in this direction. And yeah, scale, remember that I recommend to leave just a little bit of space, not exactly, approximately this way, a little bit of space above your head. Leave just a little bit of space on the left and right side from your body, from the widest gesture you can do. Allow yourself to be open, train to make bigger body gestures. Of course, sometimes you do your video conferencing in sitting position, and this is actually one of important mistakes. Guys, dear friends, remember that if you provide your conference in staying position, staying on your foot, on your legs, then you much more visible, much more active, much more engaging. So depending, of course, on your personal evaluation of the importance of this video conference for you, you can choose how much effort you're going to put into it. So either sit in your fancy, beautiful pink pajama pants somewhere in a sofa, or to stay in specially booked any kind of meeting room and do that in more official way. What about your eye look? Exactly into the camera. So I have pretty interesting information on my screen. I have my beautiful face, I have the chat. I don't see everything of that. I'm looking exactly to the camera I'm working with. Why? I try to make you feel like I'm communicating exactly, specifically with everybody of you. And that is the way I recommend you to continue, you to repeat, you to use. Yeah, so I look. Of course, for some specific cases like recalling something or constructing any kind of pictures in the ear, gesting, you're absolutely welcome to stop this eye contact. But basic approach to eye contact during video conference is approximately the same as the approach to eye contact during face-to-face communication or public speaking. Keep your eyes into the eyes of your audience. We are going further. So scale. Yep, talking about, again, scale, a little bit about scale. In a case, if you feel you need to provide your talk to your audience like as close to the camera, as close to the computer as you can, then please also don't allow your head and your face disappear from the screen, like this way, this way, this way. This is a very common mistake in video conferences I sometimes participate. So make sure there is just a little bit of space above your head and as much of your facial mobility, as much of your gesture as possible. And of course, if you come closer to the screen, try to move your hand gestures also into the frame of your picture. So you can continue gesturing, you can provide the gesticulation and make your audience see this gesture so you can empower your ideas and your thoughts. Well, that's it. Do we have very urgent questions in the chat? Not here. There are some comments. I will come back to the comments a bit later. And we are going to the arms and positor and pose. Yeah, perfect. Of course, as I told you already, I recommend to stay in a place where you're going to provide your video conference. I recommend you to walk from time to time, because doing that, you make your audience feel that you are still alive. You're not just talking head. You're a person who can move, who can feel, and so on. And of course, your gestures become more visible. You can make even bigger distance and make very big gestures, enforcing your thoughts somehow. And one more thing, we will talk later about the color of your face, the color of your clothes, some kind of small defects possibly on a face. Some people think about, in our sexist society, mostly women think about defects on the face, males not so. Such a lot think about it. Anyway, enlarging the distance, you make all those small defects disappear. Like professional artists, professional actors, and new speakers, they even know which part of their face are like working part, like left side of the face more beautiful, more professional than right side. And they use this specific left or right side. You also can do it. What about your body? Of course, very typical approach as for public speaking. Very confident, very straight, very actually confidence rate, posture of your body. Like stay the way like you're going to make step forward. Guys, for those of you who can stand up right now, I recommend just stand up and try to find this position when you can stay straight, you feel pretty confident, you can smile, you can gesture, you can try to do it right now. Good. And we are going to the next topic. Scale, eye look, arms, posture and pose, walking and where to stay. About walking, a tip. make sure you clearly know where's the edge of the frame. Like, make sure you definitely know when you disappear from the screen, from the picture in front of your audience, and never allow yourself to disappear. Instead, if you planned to do that at any specific moment. For example, I know that this part is mistaken part. Here is the sunlight. And if I go this way, you cannot see me, like a very funny white face. And yeah, as good. As far as I see, if I disappear this way, you cannot see me. So the channel breaks, blocked the channel of communication. How to avoid it? I use chairs. I will put this chair, for example, approximately this way. It's almost invisible. Okay, right now I make it visible for you. I can move it here and it will become invisible for you. So nobody of you could understand that there is a chair, but my body knows that I shouldn't go behind this chair because this kind of block is the end of the picture. Professional news speakers, entertainers, they sometimes just put a duct tape or sticky tape on the floor so they can remember where are the lines where they should be, and a big cross from this duct tape on the floor. So speaking, gesting, face, eyes, and so far that's it. And we are happy to go to next topic, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to put your questions about basic approach of framing, basic approach of body language. I mean, regarding, of course, video conferencing, if you have any questions, any doubts. If it doesn't really correspond to the ideas you have heard earlier about it, yeah, one of my mistakes, I will come to it in a second. You're welcome to put your doubts into the questions and put in our chat. And next, appearance mistakes. And right now, I'm going to correct those 3 big mistakes I specially made for our meeting. Jewelry, some bright, shining attributes, and very bright, colorful pieces of fabric. So avoid. Main idea is, ladies and gentlemen, remove from your image, from your appearance, from your view, every element that you don't really want your audience to see, that is not necessary for your audience to see on you. And yeah, there is a big question sometimes for women, because jewelry is more belongs to women, to female part of our society, just maybe tradition, I don't know. I'm trying not to be sexist. I'm learning how not to be sexist anyway. Usually I see that ladies wear some jewelry, necklaces and earrings, not males, at least in business society. So for women, I recommend to use only small pieces of jewelry, like very small, tiny necklaces, small, tiny earrings, or something like that. The same goes about just rings. Talking about men, about males, think about removing everything. Of course, if you have any kind of specific status status attribute, you are absolutely welcome to put it on if you think it is important. Like Rolex for $20,000, if you're absolutely sure your audience need to see it, okay, I wash my hands, it's your choice. But in general, remove everything you don't really want your audience to see. Remove everything that doesn't play any specific role during your video conference with your audience. Okay, jewelry. And we are going to light. How to establish the light? Of course, very common mistake, having a window behind the back. In some very bad cases, you can become a really dark silhouette. And I think I cannot right now, yeah, look like, yeah. But if you have this old window open, you definitely could do that. Natural light is the best case for you. Natural light, just daylight. Normally, I recommend to avoid the electric light. If you have no choice, you need to use electric light. Try to use the very typical old school lamps with spiral from, oh my God, the English name of this metal, I don't remember actually. Something on T, I don't remember, yeah? Instead of all those energy-saving lamps, because energy-saving lamps more often have this dead light, very cold, that makes your skin look blue, dead, or gray. So some kind of more yellow, warm light. And of course, daylight is the best. Also, please avoid, yeah, of course, no need to talk about it. Avoid putting the light right in front of you, approximately this way, because in this case, your picture becomes too flat, too plain, and the shape, the factor of your earrings for 20,000 USD. Yes, as I told guys, yes, it was a question about earrings for $20,000. If you're sure you need to show your audience that you have it and you can allow yourself to have it, yeah, it's your choice, no problem. But make sure that everything your audience can see, like, are in the picture. Make sure that everything your audience can see is not anything you would like to remove from it, or remove it in advance. So the light, the best direction is from the angle of 45 degrees. So I mean, here is the light, here is the camera, and here is you. Your feet, your shoulders, your head, your nose, and you are speaking to the camera. So this is one of best options to choose, in case if you have the natural light. Good. Fabric and pattern, yes. Basic approach. Plain colors in your clothes. Minimal amount of colors. Never, please, never put on anything with small like lines or small squares with small pattern on it. Because when this pattern goes through your screen, it can create so-called moire, I suppose. So the picture with beautiful shining picture, when one resolution grid interfere with another resolution grid, and that actually you don't need your audience to see. So avoid any patterns except very big patterns, maybe some kind of big squares, big circles, but the best case is always plain color. And one more thing, not so light color. At this case, at video conference, try to avoid beautiful white t-shirts or beautiful white skirts or shirts. Use dark ones because they can make your face looking more alive, more fresh, more colorful. And that's exactly what benefits to you, what goes pro your ideas. Yeah, that's it. What do we have here? Color and yeah, background. Think carefully about the background and avoid too many details in the background. Avoid some kind of movement in the background. Avoid streets. Avoid small details, small elements in the background. Try to find as plain background as possible for you. To concentrate all the attention on you. Some professionals, of course, I mean professional
Hello, hello. We will come back with the transmission quite soon. As you can see, one of the points on the agenda was so-called technical issues, and one of them we have here now. Please stay with us. We will come back soon, just a moment. And in the meantime, I will share the screen with the agenda so we can see what are the next points on our presentation.
And now you can hear me, guys.
We lost you for about 2 minutes.
Good. Could you please tell me what were my last words before I hanged?
I mentioned to the participants that that the technical issues were later in the agenda. Yeah.
Yes, it was an example of technical issues. Yes, with internet and something. So coming back, these are my fancy, lovely, beautiful pink pants. I really like to put on and provide some kind of calls being in. But today I decided to leave it just as an example. So sometimes I even provide training sessions in those pants. They're pink, they have a very beautiful picture, and yeah, it is mine. It's really my pyjama pants. But I prefer to choose another image. I prefer to appear in front of you approximately in this way, just because I respect you and I want to get the best result from this conference, to bring you maximum of attention, maximum of benefit. And of course, that is why I brought those pens to show you how sometimes I can work. And the recommendation is never provide important conference calls sitting at home in your favorite pyjama pants or pyjama anything. Yeah, that's it. Talking about auto background, it's pretty popular during last 20 years to make some applications that can put a picture of Eiffel Tower or any desert behind your. Well, you see, when I was a child, I really like to take the chewing gums and take those stickers from chewing gums and put those stickers on a shelf. Right now, for me, it's kind of a bigger headache to put all those stickers off. So for me, this background, artificial background, I mean, programmed background is kind of this sticker. So in important meetings, usually people don't use this type of applications. And let's have a look at the small set of real fails. I'm sure everybody of you have heard about. So fails with close, fails with some element that appears behind the back of the speaker, and fails connected. Actually, that's it. Yeah, the preparation. Mostly preparation. All those fails could be avoided if the person who performed would prepare in a better way. If you don't mind, I will share the screen now. And I hope, please let me know, tell me if you can see my screen. Can you? Hello, anybody? Please tell me, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Perfect. So,
algunas tan nobles y con tanta fuerza y tan importantes como la benemérita.
Do you see? Go into the next.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for
for the wider region? I think one of your children's just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region, do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me.
Okay, that's it. Go to the next one.
But the companies do say they will scale up the program if it is successful, guys.
Very cool. We love it, Will.
Yep, did you see it?
But
Once
the
again,
companies do
time.
say they will scale up the program.
This guy's
if it is
sitting
successful,
without
guys.
pants.
Very cool. We love
Good.
it, Will. Thank you.
And last video is the potato boss, the lady who just played with some skins, some applications, and couldn't switch off the skin of potato, funny skin of potato during official meeting.
Just take me seriously, okay?
So you can find everything by yourself if you like to. I mean, all those videos and learn about it. So I hope I stopped the video. And of course, I will send you the links to all those videos in YouTube. So you can explore it and read about it in case if you haven't heard about it. But all those examples are very typical examples of mistakes that could be easily avoided if the person just think a little bit about it before. So the main idea, talking about those elements, about the visual picture, about the mistakes, is to think again what could go wrong and find the plan B. Find, okay, plan A, how to avoid it at all. Plan B, what to do if it happens. Very interesting example is the second guy, the BBC News speaker. You can have a look how well the picture of the room prepared behind his back. All those piles of books right on the edge of the bed. The beautiful world map right on the wall. So please, after our meeting, see again, have a look. This guy really know how to prepare the room, but unfortunately he wasn't really ready for this invasion of his kids into the room. And we are going to next topic. Powder, lipstick, debatable topics. Should you put on bright lipstick during your call? I mean, I'm talking mostly about women, because for gents it's not really acceptable in a lot of types of meetings and companies I worked with. So majority of sources recommend to avoid bright paint, bright lipstick on your face. But one thing is really crucial, really important, is a powder, and I would recommend powder to men and women, because the skin sometimes start to glitter a little bit, and this glittering is not really beautiful. And avoid this glitter. You can avoid this shiny glittering on your face, on your forehead, with just a little bit of powder, normal cosmetic powder. You can, if you don't know where to find, ask girlfriend, ask your wife. I mean, just in this case, in the case if you're male and you don't know what to do with it, of course, buy for yourself. Well, what do we have else? You're managing your mood and voice. Interesting question. Very basic recommendation. Always have your glass of tea or water on your table. Like, this is actually the mint tea. It is warm. And it keeps my voice in better way all the time. It relaxes, it warms it up. Some tips. First of all, eat approximately 1 hour before the important conference call. Have a good dinner or lunch or anything, to avoid the feeling of hunger, because when you're hungry, when your stomach is empty, this liquid comes to your mouth and it really prevents you of speaking in clear way. Next thing, have enough water with you. Visit toilet right before the beginning of important call. If the call is longer than approximately 1 hour, think and organize and arrange a time within this call for breaks. And of course, visit the toilet during those breaks, even if you don't feel you need it right now. It's really important for some people. Talking about your mood. Well, again, it's a very big question how to control your mood during public speaking, during any presentation. So a lot of people feel this lack of self-confidence, feel this fear of public speaking. So your video call is just a talk with your partner. One more type of talk. So never afraid about it. Try to practice more, communicate with video calls with your wife, make more calls with your friends, with your husband, with anybody you can talk. So have more practice with video calls. So during important calls, you will already be prepared for that. Some very important tips for Eastern countries, I mean Eastern Europe and like Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. Smile. Remember that smile is typical for Western approach to business communication, but smile is something very intimate, only for friends, only for really people you know, people you like a lot in Eastern countries. So make sure you can smile. Smile almost all the time when there is no reason to keep your face really serious. Confidence, meditative techniques about finding the confident position. Well, it's not a really good time right now to practice those meditations techniques because we have not enough time, but you can easily Google it. How to boost your self-confidence. There are many different training sessions by me, by other trainers. So practice it and always work on your self-confidence and your personal mood. Carbohydrates, the chocolate or something like that, like 10-15 minutes before your call might be crucial in a case if you had this good lunch or dinner 1 hour before your call. So remember to keep the level of carbohydrates in your blood pretty high to avoid, how does he call it? Not dehydration, of course dehydration is so important. Hypoglycemia, yes, hypoglycemia. So avoid hypoglycemia to make your body continue working. Talking about voice, so-called voice exercises or articulation system exercises. They look really stupid and usually provided by actors in theaters, for cinema, and of course by new speakers. You can Google how to warm up your voice system, how to warm up your mouth, your tongue, your lips, your cheek. And very basic way are tongue twisters. So guys, could you please, in a case if anybody feel a little bit bored about this, our communication, because we work for approximately 40 minutes, and of course, 2 of your attention spans already gone, already finished. I'm sure you have heard about the attention span, you know what does it mean. So could you please, having 3 minutes, Google the tongue twisters, try tongue twisters, but please don't switch on the microphone, so try it at your place, be mute, and just please copy and paste the best tongue twister you can find. I mean the tongue twister that is complicated for you personally. Remember that for different person, different tongue twisters are hard, difficult to pronounce, because very difficult approaches to behavior, very difficult languages. You start to start learning how to speak in. So different tongue twisters can be adjusted for you. So find your best tongue twister. You can just Google tongue twister in any language you would like to, and please copy paste to our chat best tongue twisters in any language, Polish, English, if you would like any other languages that you think are really worth practicing. And practice those tongue twisters approximately once per day, like for 15 to 20 minutes, and of course approximately 15 minutes before your important talk. Actually, what I did 15 minutes before I started today, our today's conference. Yeah, so tongue twisters. And that was it with comfort and confidence section. So guys, small recap. From the very beginning, body language and scaling. Remember about frame, about size, about your gesturing. Remember to keep your hands in the frame of your computer, of your video call, to be more engaging. Appearance, mistakes, plain color, official view, official appearance, official clothes, no exclusions, no exceptions for your clothes will be absolutely. Book the room, find the plain background, minimum elements, minimum amount of elements. Eat a lot 1 hour before, keep always your water with you on the table, smile, keep confidence, practice tongue twisters. I recommend to provide important calls, staying on feet, and yeah, like to be visible, to be engaging, to be more energetic. And we go into next topic. Again, we have approximately 5 minutes for these topics and approximately 15 minutes till the end of our call at all, our conference, our seminar at all. Your behavior and the ways to engage your audience. What is it? Main idea, be personal to your audience, communicate personally, provide them some tasks, ask them questions, ask them about anything. You don't really need to learn to know the answer, but the main idea is to make your audience communicate with you, make your audience be active. Remember about attention span. Every approximately 10 to 15 minutes, I recommend you to change the way of behavior with your audience, to entertain them somehow, make them laugh, say some kind of joke, show some kind of video, or anything like that. Again, ask questions and make them answer, like put in, for example, those pluses into the chat or write in any kind of number or anything like that. For example, do we have any tongue twisters? Yes, we have perfect tongue twisters, only one for now. So guys, come on, warm up. Is it true that only one person, Krzysztof, is hearing me right now, is listening to me? Please find the best tongue twister for you personally and copy paste it into the chat, help others to try your tongue twister. And coming back, your behavior, your engagement way. Ask questions, attention span, approximately 10 to 15 minutes. So possibly you have heard classical literature about 20 minutes attention span. It is not true no more. Guys, sorry, the age of YouTube had come. So now the attention span of average audience you are going to deal with is approximately 10 minutes, 10 to 15 as a maximum. So keep every single part of your speech not longer than 10 to 15 minutes, then replace it, make a short break, or change sometimes the way you communicate with your audience. Change your activity. For example, change sometimes the way you personally behave, like your body behave. In some specific way, change the background if you can do it, like I'm trying to do it right now. Yes, again, approximately every 10 to 15 minutes. And of course, provide your audience with some kind of easy tasks they can do during your communication, during your conference call. And those tasks can be easily adjusted to the call you have. Like even if you're providing a very important demo session of your product to stakeholders who need to pay you for this project, you can, for example, tell very easy phrase like, could you please right now enter this URL, open the application, and for example, try very easy way, like make the request, to buy something in this imaginary online store we're developing for you. I mean, I'm talking right now about like any kind of front-end development, something like that. So it is very easy task. It absolutely corresponds to the topic of this demo you provide to your customers, to your stakeholders, and at the same time, it's a way to engage your audience. Well, technically, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, please hold on. In 5 minutes, I will answer all possible questions. Well, we're going to the last topic. Yeah, still one tongue twister. Come on, wake up and put your tongue twisters into the chat. The topic of technical preparation. Microphone, camera. Yeah, that's it. Very basic recommendation. The more money you put into your technical equipment, the better. The more effort and time you put into preparation, into trying, testing, the better. Make your call like test call 1 day before your official video conference. Of course, make the test call 1 hour before your conference, before the beginning of your conference. Make sure you are online at least half an hour before. Make sure everything is visible, everything's on the place. So usually me, personally, when I'm providing any kind of video training sessions about public speaking, when for example, very often I'm preparing the IT speakers for IT conferences in Ukraine and in Poland. And all the time, I finish my preparation approximately half an hour before the beginning. So after that, I have just half an hour to relax, to watch funny videos while people gathering and coming into the video conference room, this virtual room. So, and if anything goes wrong, I still have this additional time to some kind correct the situation and to make anything just to fix all the mistakes and errors. Well, expensive microphone is better than cheap microphone. Expensive camera gives better quality of pictures than cheap camera. It's very typical, very obvious. Talking about camera and microphone, the microphone on your clothes is one of the best options because you can be easily and loudly heard even having very big distance between you and your laptop, for example. Right now, possibly my voice was not so clear, not so loud for you. Again, good camera. Again, the person who keeps the camera, who controls the camera. As I told already, try to stay at least 1 meter away of the camera of your computer to be more visible, more energetic, to make your body language more active. In a case, if you're providing the demo, live demo for your customers, think about the backup plan and exactly backup video recording. I mean, if you see, it's very typical mistake, like, oh, something is broken, yesterday it worked fine. In that case, you just bring in, if your application you want to demonstrate during this demo is broken right now during the demo, you just launch the video recording of the application yesterday when it worked perfectly and you show it on the video. And then, of course, you explain why it was broken right now, because most often it's not your error, not your mistake if it is broken. Practice all the time. Always have plan B. Always about every single item that can go wrong, ask yourself, first of all, what can go wrong? Second, what should I do to avoid going wrong way? And third, what instead I will do if it goes wrong way anyway? 3 basic questions to answer about everything, about like internet, about videos, about behavior, about tea, about time, room booking, anything that can influence the situation. Headsets. Debatable question. Some people recommend to continue to provide your conference with a headset. Some people recommend to use the speakers. So if you have expensive, good, high quality sound system, I recommend to work without speakers because they some kind of limit your body. Don't allow you to feel really relaxed. So switch off and close. Of course, very basic. Switch off and close all the applications on your computer that can be closed, that not really necessary. Move, of course, every gadget you have, switch the silent, the mute mode of every gadget you have. Remove all possible interruptions. If, for example, I know that at that time in this office where I'm working, there is a cleaning service providing cleaning of all the rooms. And I discussed with the cleaning service, I asked them to come to this specific room 1 hour later than they usually come to clean this room after me. So they will not open the door and see me and ask something, ask stupid questions, and then excuse and go away. So they know about it in advance. That's like the way I prepare. Well, that's it. 22 minutes, so even 3 minutes in advance. So we have additional time for questions. Guys, dear friends, I'm checking right now our chat to have to make sure there are some questions I still can answer. Okay, perfect. We have those tongue twisters. Thank you so much. At least 3. And guys, yes, you're welcome to practice those tongue twisters. What about questions? Well, no specific questions. What ways you measure? My measure, okay, errors, and how did you take care of that? My personal, do you mean my personal, yeah? Good, very typical. Blackout of the internet connection. It depends not on me, it depends on provider, it depends on electricity or and some other stuff, like just the thunderstorm. So what I do in that case, sometimes I just warn the audience, I tell in advance, like, guys, in a case if I'm hanged and became silent, it means we have a blackout. So please, in that case, just recap everything we have talked about and think about your questions and prepare to put your questions into chat. So I give them tasks in advance. Second, during really long video conferences, like 3 hours and more, my tea became really cold. I don't like cold tea, so I usually keep 3 cups of tea if I have long video conference. One is just very warm, second glass is very hot, impossible to drink, and third is a thermocap, so this cap thermos that keeps temperature for longer time. So after 3 hours, first glass is empty, second glass is empty too after approximately 2 hours, and after 3-4 hours I can drink from this thermocap. So I still have my hot mint tea, exactly mint tea. Well, any other questions, dear friends? Let me please recap. Is there anything I forgot or just rejected to tell to avoid wasting a lot of time? Practice, practice, practice. Train, train, train. Try everything. Clothes, appearance, body language, experience. Technically, food, liquid, drinking, closing all unnecessary tabs. Looks like that's it. And yeah, possibly I can stop talking now if it is okay for you, if you have no more questions.
I would have a question additional from PMI Warsaw. Maybe a simple question. How to deal with failure if you were prepared list, but unfortunately something was impossible to to avoid, yes, and a frustration comes to us because we are after main preparation, and unfortunately it haven't give us a success yet.
Okay, a little bit of theory if you allow me to. First of all, failures, there are 3 different types of failures, and the fails, let's say. First, the fail visible only for you as an organizer. Second, the fail that is visible just for part of the audience. And third, the fail that is visible for all the audience at the same time. If there is first fail, just continue, smile and win, smile and win, as far as I remember, those 3 penguins from the Madagascar cartoon. So don't behave like there is a failure, because only because of your behavior the audience can think that there is something going wrong. You have your plan B, just use your plan B and never tell in advance. Some also additional tricks, like before, at the beginning of your speech, one more, second trick of this way. Before, at the very beginning, you can say that there are some, dear audience, I put some special mistakes in my slides, in, I don't know, my behavior, in the way I'm, in the system I show you, to engage you somehow. So please find those mistakes, tell me where are those mistakes, those errors, and yeah, to check how attentive are you. So they can find not only errors you really artificially put into your presentation, but also errors you didn't expect and you like just your mistakes. Okay, it goes mostly about the failures that is visible and clear only for you. Third part of failures, I love this finger here, third part, is a failure that's visible for everybody. So, well, just accept it, and continue working. Remember that there is a goal. The goal for you not to make your audience laugh or you laugh. I mean, instead of if you're stand-up comic, of course, sometimes it works in a good way. Anyway, the goal is, for example, to present something, to share the knowledge, to transform some ideas from one idea to another, to influence your audience somehow. So if there is a failure, just say, okay, yes, we have a situation, so let's continue. A small tip from all those verbal level control tricks. Don't use some keywords. Don't say error, mistake, problem. Use another keywords like situation, issue. Okay, issue already connected as a problem, sometimes perceived. So find some other keyword to call it. Okay, we have a situation, very funny situation. Guys, it's a great example. And one more additional trick for this third type of failures that are visible for everybody in the audience. Say something like, wow, that's a great example. So you see, when it happens, you and me can go this way, do that, do that, do that, do that. So you can transform this failure into the example, into experiment to the audience. And second type of failures that are visible and clear only for part of the audience are most complicated. So this part of audience will ask about it, other people will not know what is going on, so they will be curious about it, start asking others. Not so good way for your audience. So audience will think about this failure instead of thinking about the topic you're transferring. So depending on the situation, if you have this partly visible failure, sometimes for some cases, I recommend you just to present this failure to everybody. Like, well, we have this situation, blah, blah, blah is happening. So right now it's a little bit more complicated. Or again, just switch on plan B without saying anything and just continue with your confident way. Did I answer a question? If not, please persuade your question and let me, or not persuade, specify your question and let me answer it.
Yes, thank you very much. I can add that in the moment when we lost connection with you, I had no idea what was going on, but I improvised that it is quite, a temporary thing. I repeat the agenda, yes. I mentioned that this is an example of technical issues, etc. But I can truly say that if, for example, your connectivity problems would be longer, it would be I can comment a funny situation. However, I can comment, as you have mentioned, to stay calm as long as possible, because most of the time we can deal with the problem.
Good. Thank you very much. So, am I understand right that our time is over and we need to say goodbye?
We can ask again about the questions. So, last chance.
Dear audience, dear colleagues, participants, thank you very much for attending this conference. I was really happy sharing my experience, and you're welcome to keep in touch. And of course, visit some other conferences of PMI.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask everyone to fill the survey, because feedback from you is very important for us. Thank you, Alex, for everything, that you had time for us, that you had time even, for example, for our little preparations before the webinar. So that's an example that you always check and try before you go to production, you can say. And well, this was the first webinar this year. I think that not last from PMI Warsaw. So see you soon, Alex. Once again, thank you, and thank you all participants. And well, bye, and a nice day.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, guys. Bye.